It was Apple killed the radio star.
Yeah. Yeah.
Radio Star did perfectly fine after MTV.
Yeah.
How embarrassing to think that was their first song they ever played, you know?
And what else? We need to start recording. Oh, come here. Go over here. There we
Oh,
go.
hold on.
We're on YouTube, by the way. I don't know what's up with Ray, but just look in the title for where it starts, and I'll timestamp it in the description.
Well, that was an adventure.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, remember, they're going to be, well, no, you got an hour almost. All right.
Ready?
Oh, why not?
Okay, I'm going to start recording. Record on this computer.
Okay, got it.
Okay, hit it.
All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Wait, what are we going to call this actual episode?
How to use the YouTube podcasting feature and other news you can use.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay, I'll come on. Well, yeah. Well, I'll try not to use news you can use since we use that all the time. I'll try to.
Or just updates or I don't know, whatever. Yeah.
Right. Okay. In 5, 4, 3. Try that again. 5, 4, 3. On today's episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to talk about YouTube podcasting and some of the changes there, and a bunch of other things about YouTube that you may need to use with your business. And speaking of business, today's episode is made possible by somebody new. In fact, Steve, have you ever needed funding for your business?
Oh, yeah, I could have used some. Yeah. Yeah.
We all need it sometimes. Sometimes things are slow. Sometimes we need to buy new equipment. Sometimes we need to build an entire new building that could cost millions of dollars. But like most business owners, you may not have that in your pocket or your bank account ready to go. And that's where our friends at Market Capital Lending can help you. Whether your business is a multi-million dollar business or a small mom and pop, if you need a small line of credit or a giant jumbo loan to build a new building, Market Capital Lending can help you right now. And the best part is all you need to do is fill out your application at marcaplending.com. And the fine folks over there at Market Capital Lending will take a look and figure out the best way forward for you when it comes to getting funded. If you're running short and you got payroll due, if you've got business equipment you need to buy, if you need to have product manufactured so that you can sell it, these guys can help you get the money you need when you need it for your business at the best rates possible. So if you're ready to grow your business, head on over to marcaplending.com and get started with your application today. And with that, Steve, let's hit the music.
It's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray, the video guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. And if you're looking at the YouTube video, we always start this with a live stream that I converted to the audio podcast. Anyhow, sorry, but I am grossly disfigured.
That's what happens.
I bonked my head like 5 years ago, and it kind of grew in as a callus. And so, after about 5 years of her trying to freeze it off, it never would come off. And so I said something to the dermatologist at my yearly appointment. She, well, let's cut it off and we'll see what it is. Came back as cancer, but it was all contained within the growth. So, yeah. So then what they did is she brought me back, and they actually have a machine that only cauterizes or zaps the cancerous skin and leaves the good skin alone. I'm like, ooh, and Albert Einstein came up with that. That's pretty amazing. So I'm just about healed up, but I got like a red dot on the side of my forehead. So
That's what happens sometimes. But you got to take care of those things. The Bob Marley movie is coming out, and I don't know how many people know this, but that's what he died of.
oh,
It was
was it? I thought it
melanoma.
was lung cancer. It was melanoma.
Well, it spread to that. That's what ended up killing
Oh,
him. But it started with a melanoma on his toe.
I'll be darned.
Too
Huh.
much time out on the beach barefoot, I guess.
I guess, or something. Yeah. Well, I guess I was fortunate not that it did not spread. So,
Yep. Because we want to
um,
hear more of your sick reggae beats before you leave this world.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. I just thought it was because he was smoking dope all the time, but yeah,
That
I
that may or may not have contributed. Who knows?
yeah, I thought it was the ganja, but anyhow, I've got a Bob Marley album somewhere in my collection, and it's a double album set. So you remember the old LP.
Oh
It'd
yeah.
be a jacket that fold,
Yep.
and it says right along the fold line, "This album is good for cleaning ganja."
All right.
I never used it for that. That's a joke. That also was almost 50 years ago. So I was just a kid.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, so we're going to talk about a bunch of updates I've got on YouTube, but the first one is something I've been trying to figure out for a while. And Ray and I have been talking about this for a while. YouTube podcasts, okay?
Yes,
So
sir.
a few months back, I got a notice that with our video marketing madness live streams, that I could save the playlist that I put them into as a podcast. So I did that. And then you and I kind of talked about, okay, where's it going to go from here? And then I noticed after a period of time that we showed up in YouTube Music as a podcast, Video Marketing Madness. So then we discussed, well, are they going to take audio podcasts, audio only podcasts? And so I saw some articles on that, and what it basically said is, yes, you can, but you have to have a graphic on
Right.
every podcast episode.
Yep.
And so I took that to mean I needed to uh, convert them. I needed to upload them or convert them to MP4s with a badge on each one. No, that's not what it meant.
Mm.
They just didn't use the language I'm used to, and it could have been my ATT too, who knows. But I saw something and if you don't follow these guys on Twitter X, you should. It's called Team YouTube, all one word, at Team YouTube. And there's people that can actually put in at Team YouTube, and they see it and they complain about getting demonetized or having their channel removed, and Team YouTube will actually look at it for you. That's not a direct message. I forget what it's called, but you can they'll actually see it if you do that, and you post it. Just put at Team YouTube what's going on. They'll see that. So about once a month, I check on their file page, and I did that this week, and it said you can upload audio podcasts to YouTube. Find out here. So I clicked on the link, and it took me to that same article I'd read before. Well, they said audio podcasts, so just use your RSS feed. And I did. And lo and behold, it's uploading. It's one of my audio podcasts called North Omaha History Podcast. I just did it on the Video Marketing Madness channel. And you can have multiple podcasts on one YouTube channel.
Yeah.
What
Oh yeah.
what you do, real simple, you just go to YouTube Studio. You got to be in YouTube Studio to see this. Then you click on the create button, and then you click on add a podcast. Okay.
Yep.
And it's
Hey,
pretty
add a podcast,
self-explanatory.
or I think it's a new podcast, isn't
Add a
it?
new podcast. Yes. It's very self-explanatory. The first thing it's going to ask you to do is create a playlist, and then you put in your RSS feed, and voila, it uploads. Now, the only drawback on the whole thing is North Omaha History Podcasts. We probably have 150 episodes. I mean, it's not an insane amount of episodes, but it's 150. And I looked this morning, and they said, well, there was too many there for us to upload them at one time. We'll upload the last 6 tomorrow. So if you've got like us, and
We don't
it
even
just
know
isn't-
how many.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you've got thousands of episodes, it's going to take forever to upload.
Yeah, we've lost count ages
Yeah,
ago.
we've been doing it for 10 years. So, but
Different formats, different ways, different,
well, and yeah, exactly. Um, but you just need to be aware of that. And then what's going to happen is it's probably going to show up on YouTube Music. I would imagine that's what's going to happen under the podcast tab. How many listens you'll get, how many downloads you'll get off of that, I don't know. But I do know with Google Podcasts, we got some downloads. It wasn't a tremendous amount, but we got some downloads, probably 10 a week or something like that. So,
woohoo.
yeah, woohoo. So, but as you and I discussed, it's like if I had to convert every file for the North Omaha podcast to an MP4, it just wouldn't be worth it. Don't get enough downloads. Most of them are on Apple Podcasts, which is hundreds, so.
Which is funny because YouTube does claim that they are the most popular podcasting place. Go figure,
Well, maybe, for live streams or videos or something. I don't know how they make that claim. All I know is most of our downloads come from Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
That
doesn't surprise
me. Yeah, I mean, the vast majority. Okay, so that's that. I just wanted to explain that. I'll do the how-to in the show notes, and then you'll have the path to do that. But it ends up being pretty simple. Again, it was just a situation they weren't using the same language I was used to, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So, okay, here's another one.
And actually to
Go ahead.
take that a little further, like what I do is any video playlists that I have for different clients and things like that make sense where being just audio would be good. I turn those into podcasts as well, because why not, right?
Why not? And like I said, they should show up on YouTube Music on that.
Yep, and they do. Like the Nerve Docs, I'm looking at it right now. They've got all these episodes in here.
Okay, very cool. And you could play that. Can you play video podcasts? Let's say no, you'd have to be from YouTube.
The answer is yes. So the podcast can be audio or video. So
yeah, but that's a separate RSS feed, right? Oh, wait a minute. So if you put that into YouTube Music, you're not using an RSS feed. You're just
inside of YouTube Studio. There's just a button that says podcast, and you just turn it on. It's
right. So that's probably not going to show up as a video on Apple Podcast. Then it's just going to be YouTube Music.
That's a good question. That I'm not sure.
I don't think it's going to show up as a video, because what happens is, unless you use that RSS feed from YouTube to feed it to Apple Podcasts,
which you can do, because I was going to say YouTube channel is just an RSS feed. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming there's an RSS feed from YouTube. I don't know, but I would think there would be. Yeah. Okay. All right. So,
in fact, VidPeng will pull it for you.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Okay. So
I will tell you the ones that I've put in through YouTube do not show up on Apple Podcasts by themselves.
They don't. Okay. Yeah. Well, and all my podcasts, which are 3 of them, it's not like I'm a big producer or anything, but they're all fed from the from where I originate the podcast, either PowerPress from Blueberry, or I've got one that's, God, I can't remember the name of it, but SoundCloud. And I use SoundCloud just because it gave me more of what I needed. It's my Ask a Lawyer podcast, and but anyhow, the RSS feed comes from the origination platform. So okay, you ready to move on there, buddy?
Oh, sure.
Okay. All the stories are going to come from search engine land, and I think you will like this one because you own a retail location.
I
Google
do.
Google tests nearby events and deals local search
Yes.
feature. The newly introduced search box features 4 titles showcasing promotions and events from nearby businesses. It's a mobile thing, and yeah, it's fired from your Google business profile. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I've seen a little bit about that. I haven't studied up a ton on it, which I really should, but yeah, we've had been a little busy this last week and a half.
Now,
Little busy.
are you able to use that yet, or have they?
I honestly don't know yet. That's what
Okay,
I've got to check and see. Atlanta oftentimes is one of the markets, but we're outside of Atlanta, so I don't know how far, that they reach with that. So we'd have to look and see. But
right. Okay. Well, I just thought that was a very interesting deal. Now, since I work with attorneys, I don't know that they're going to do events. Yeah, oh, you never know. I mean,
you
maybe
never know. Hey, you know what? I know there's an attorney in West Virginia who's famous for holding professional wrestling events.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how he brings in, a lot of it. He does that, and he gets a lot of attention because he, monetizes all that and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you never
All right.
know.
Yeah, you never know. Okay. All right. Um, I think did we read this one on the last show? I sometimes I have a hard time remembering. Google advertisers are confused between support and sales. Huh. Uh,
Yes, I believe we did talk about that.
okay. Um, I think we talked about that, but I I think Google because I deleted all those stories. So I think what this is where sales ends and support begins, and they further clarified that the overlapping responsibilities and sales and support reps don't just sell advertising, they also try to help advertisers report issues. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
about
and,
that.
yeah, and I'm trying to see what support is. Google is not transparent. They must more clearly define the difference between sales and support. Okay, clarification is needed. Support explained. Support, also referred to as Google Technical Services, is tasked with assisting customers in troubleshooting technical issues, but they're not sales. So they do more of a deep dive into the technical side of it, where the role of sales, which you have a rep that you deal with a lot, and they're engaging customers in discussions about new solutions, products, and features. And if you have an issue with something, then they'll try to figure that out for you or take that to the proper people and get back to you. Now, the problem has been support. You just can't get in touch with support, right?
That
Support
can be the
only.
issue. Yeah, it seems like it's pretty easy to get in touch with somebody when you want to spend money on advertising.
Yeah,
When you've
right.
got problems with things, it's not so easy. We've got a client now who, and for those of you who don't know, recently in the Canada, locksmiths, and in the US, locksmiths and garage door companies have been getting their GMBs Google Business Profiles shut down left and right. And we had a client who that happened to, and we're trying to fix it, and we still haven't been able to do it. And I can't get in touch with anybody. I did talk to my ad rep about it, and he now, it used to be she, it's a he now. He was trying to help a little bit. He's like, well, maybe if we can get into an ads account, we can do it. So I'm going to try to follow up with him, but it's I don't think they realize, just because an industry has issues with people trying to cheat the system, that doesn't mean every single business in the system is that. There are actual locksmiths out there, folks. There are garage door companies out there. There are roofers out there. So it's, they got to understand that there are real businesses behind this, and they don't. They don't care. They just, oh, let's just ban it.
Right. Well, and my guess is that somebody who's making that decision can't spell sales. An IT guy goes, I don't care. And where if they had any kind of customer service bone in their body, they wouldn't do something like that. But and I've dealt. I mean, there was one time I was dealing with a fairly large company, and doing a fairly large project with them that they normally didn't do. And I was dealing with the president of the company, who was a tech guy. He wasn't a sales guy at all. He wasn't a customer service guy at all. And he was horrible. He was just horrible. Nice guy, but he didn't understand customer service. He didn't understand the value of a customer, which kind of surprised me. But
and it shouldn't. Not everybody has that mindset to do that. They do what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he just happened to start a company at the right time and right place, and then he hired customer service people. But because I was spending a lot of money, I was dealing directly with him. And so it happens. Okay. Here's one. And by the way, if you're thinking, well, why are they talking about stuff besides, YouTube and Facebook Live? We're just talking about stuff that Ray and I do every day as well. So YouTube, Google Business Profiles, Google Ads, we work with that quite a bit. And websites, yeah, I'm not going to tell you how to build a website. We don't do that. Or we do, but I farm it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Google rolls out new Performance Max guide and updates several offers. Now, I know that we've had good success with the new Performance Max with our client in Jackson, Mississippi, right?
We have.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll put this article. There's a getting started new guide that offers a checklist of concepts and tasks that need to be done for each of 3 campaign types: standard Performance Max campaigns, Performance Max campaigns for retail, and travel. And it gives you asset requirements, how to organize the campaigns, reporting, campaign level conversion goals, asset group signals, and troubleshooting. It's all in this getting started guide. Did they give that to you when you started doing
No,
this?
we didn't. We just did it. We
Yeah.
just jumped in and did it because I had my reference.
Anyhow, and I'm not going to dive into too much detail on the Performance Max guide. What do they call it? Performance Max guide. Okay, I'm not going to jump into too many details on that. I'll just put the link in.
Basically, think of it this way. It's actually really easy. What they're looking for is you give us a bunch of stuff, AKA like widescreen videos, vertical videos, square videos, headlines, bunches of pictures. You basically just throw all this stuff at Google, and then Google goes, okay, we'll build you, this is what you want to advertise. So you normally build an ad in Google, this is what the headline's going to be, this is what it's going to be about. And they get that basic information. Then they get all this other stuff. And then they start making ads for all these different things. Oh, here's a place where we can put a video ad. So we put a vertical video ad there. There's a place where we can put a horizontal video ad. So we put that video ad there. There's a place where we can put a text ad. So we put a text ad there, a banner ad, an image ad. And they just go and do that for you. So they put it in all these different places, and you don't have to do much of anything. And I can tell you the results that we've seen on a specific campaign. There was one campaign in there that was doing like 49, I say 49, it was $50 a day on just running a regular old Google ad. And when we started the Performance Max, we just kind of started it with like just a $10 a day ad.
Mhm.
That $10 a day Performance Max ad was kicking that $50 a day ad's butt as
Right.
far as, number of clicks and number of views. It was annihilating it with only $10. So obviously we've moved a lot of the money over into the Performance Max now because that's where it's at. So
Well, all I know is I have not had a call from our clients saying I'm not getting any new cases in a long time. Um, the only thing he really cares about is new cases. And if he's not getting them, because most of his ad spend, if not all of it, is with us, then we get a call. And the neat thing is, um, I'll look around at the SEO stuff and I'll occasionally find something we can tweak.
okay.
But
So as an example, Steve, you want to throw this out here. So looking at his account right now, which I haven't looked at in a few days here.
well, let me throw this
Oh, go
last
ahead,
thing.
go ahead.
Yeah, let me throw this last thing in. Typically, what I do is I talk to you about it. You get your rep on the phone, and you find something you can tweak. That's the point I wanted to make. I'm just going on and on about nothing. So there's always been something we've been able to improve with the Google ads. Anyhow, go ahead.
Okay, so on January 18th, which is when we kind of made the change. So from January 18th back, he was getting typically 40 clicks per day to his website, that's pretty good. If you're going to get cases, 40 clicks a day, I mean, that's pretty good. And the impressions were like, 50,000 impressions and getting 40 clicks. Since we changed that, on the 20th, he got 527 clicks to the website from 574,000 impressions.
Oh my goodness.
And, you think, well, maybe that's an anomaly, but the next day he got 368. The next day he got 405. The next day he got 351. The next day he got 396. So yeah,
That's pretty good. Yeah.
that's
Performance
I mean,
Max is
literally
a big deal.
10%, 10 times growth there.
10 times
10x.
growth. Well, he's a
Now,
very
hopefully
happy
getting
man.
10 times as many calls, and hopefully they still are good calls, but we're still targeting the same people. So it's not like we've changed the targeting at all. It's just
Well, the only problem with finding out if everything's good or not is I'll text him and say, everything going okay? And he'll, yep. And that's all he says because he's so darn busy. He's not going to dive into that and report back to us, on what he's getting.
and by the way, the cost per click we were doing, which by the way, in some places for lawyers, like if you get into Boston and New York and whatever, you're talking very expensive per click. And his cost per click was, like $1 to $1.30, sometimes even up to $2 a click.
Wow.
And since we made that change, he's down to about 30 cents a click.
My goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
Now it's Jackson, Mississippi. It's not a huge market, but
right. It's not exactly, New York City or anything, but
yeah. Yeah. Wow. That is a very low cost per click. I mean, I've heard $40 per click sometimes.
oh yeah. And for certain, like personal injury and stuff. I mean, you can get real expensive, hundreds of dollars in some cases per click, because that one click could be worth $10 million.
Wow.
I'd trade $100 for 10 million.
Yeah, no kidding.
But of course, it's not like every single person who clicks is going to, turn into a $10 million case. So you got to spend money. But yeah, this is really good. This is really good. And Google is getting the same amount of money every day from us. It's not like we're paying more money now. We're paying the same amount of money that we were paying before, just getting, massive difference in what we're getting out of it. So yeah, good stuff. I like it.
I do too. So does Joey. I need to find. I may have another attorney that I'll need some help. I'll let you know about it.
Good.
75%. It's a search engine land. 75% of top brands fall victim to fraud in Google search ads.
I don't doubt that for a second.
Scammers trick consumers by impersonating the targeted brand's domain and ad copy. They intentionally pay for ad placements that show up when users search for those brands, and they give an example of a fraudulent ad impersonating the flight comparison company Sky scanner. And
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
so you click on it and it goes through their site, I guess. That's how they're playing off somebody's good name. I'll put this in the
And
show
there's so
notes.
many of those scams going on. The one that drives me crazy isn't even that kind of a scam. It's these people that are advertising things that we would never get away with advertising, and yet somehow they get past they get
Yeah.
past all these people that are censoring all the ads you try to do.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
drives me
yeah, yeah,
nuts.
yeah, yeah,
Like, oh, you can't post an ad about that. Well, I've seen 20 of them today from some random person who's trying to scam people. It's not even real. Oh, you
yeah.
can't say that word. Like, okay, well, what about these guys?
Yeah, yet your garage door company, they pull down their ads.
Yeah, and by the way, to go back to that, if you are a garage door company or you work with one or a locksmith, there is a special what they call advanced verification policy for those particular businesses, and so that's
Hmm.
what we're trying to go through right now.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for passing that along. That's good information.
Yeah.
Okay. YouTube advertising, the ultimate guide. And this is search engine land. And really all you need to know is that the link will be in the description. And it's stuff that Ray has taught a million times before, but it's still a good article. 2.1 billion users. Um, and they talk about all the different kind of ads you can have, display ads, true view ads, sponsored cards, all that kind of stuff. So it's in there. I know that with the personal injury lawyers, you've talked about this before, but their cost per click, some guys, that's where I got the $40 cost per
Oh
click
yeah,
with
yeah.
display ads, whereas YouTube is like, what, 3 cents a click or something? I don't know.
Well, but it can be 3 cents a view for
A
stuff like that.
view.
But we've been
Okay.
getting much better than that lately. Like I had I posted in one of our groups. I was getting this one client. Well, actually, technically, it's not even a client. It's somebody that I'm partnered with for a YouTube channel, and we were getting views at statistical zero. So,
Wow.
in other words, if you pulled up the average cost per view, it said zero.
Wow.
But it was like 0.32 cents. So literally, we're getting like um, 3 views per penny that we spent.
Uh-huh.
So.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And then we changed that because it was getting stuff traffic from all over the world, so the numbers were great, and we switched it to U.S. based traffic, and then that changed a little bit. But
Right, right. Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. But I'm just going to focus on this one vertical, and that's the personal injury attorneys. What they're looking to do is just get top of mind awareness. So, if you run your car or, somebody runs you off the road or, somebody hits you, you think of them. And so for YouTube is a good place to advertise for that. I think also what we're finding is with our attorney clients, we're offering the YouTube consulting and production services, a la what you do for the nerve doctors. What we're finding is they're going to need Google ads as well. So have you
yeah, well,
placed have you
what we're
placed those
finding.
yet? Have you placed those yet?
No, I have not placed any
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that. There was a reason.
Okay.
Had to
And
do.
little inside joke. We'll just move on
No,
from there.
yeah, it
Okay.
had to do with them paying and stuff like that. So before I went and spent money, I was like,
Well,
okay.
that was my fault. That was my fault. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll run a little bit on that to get some of that going. But yeah, the big issue with all of that is YouTube ads can be fantastic. You just have to target them properly, and you'll get clicks for a lot less than some of the other ones. So can't
Yeah.
really go too wrong with it. So
Yeah. So that I thought I looked at this and I think it's stuff I pretty much knew already, but it's a really good guide, and so it'll be in the show notes, and that's why I brought it up.
yes,
Um, Google tests highly rated call out for local service ads. Um, Google is
that's
piloting a
smart.
new search feature called highly rated for local service ads.
So
Testing.
sounds to me what they're doing there. And let me see if I can guess this one. So if you're doing LSA ads, now they're going to take your rating and be like, oh, this guy's got 2,000 reviews and he's 4.9 stars. This guy's got 300 reviews and he's 4.8 stars. So even though they're both willing to pay money for LSA, we're going to put the guy with the more 5-star reviews ahead of him.
It's, the Google screened ads that are at the top.
Yep.
Okay. It's those.
Yeah.
But then what it says, they show an example. And again, the link will be in the show notes, but sponsored, and then under sponsored, instead of just Google screened, it says highly rated malpractice lawyers, Google screened.
Yeah.
And so so you've already gone through the screening process, and Google screening process. So you've done that. And then these guys have like 4.8 and 4.6 on the review scale. So that's what that is. Now, we've talked to Joey a couple of times about doing the Google screened. And I think what he told me was, I just don't get good leads off those. He said the other stuff you're doing, they're good leads. And this is for a DUI defense. Does he run any workman's comp ads? Do you remember?
No, he does not run any workman's comp.
Yeah, so this is all
might be something we talked to him about doing, though.
Yeah, he gets a database he can send a letter to. So he's getting workman's comp cases pretty cheaply. But primarily what he wants to do is DUI defense, but the workman's comp he takes because they're so cheap to get. Anyhow, that's more than you wanted to know. But yeah. Anyhow, I mean, just that's Jackson, Mississippi, and who knows, probably works other places. But anyhow, that's what they're doing. So that's a new feature out there to be aware of. When I say new feature, it's being tested. Who knows if they'll roll it out or not? Pretty cool.
We shall see.
We shall see. And that's all I got as far as updates go.
That's all I got, and I got no more. I like it. It's good stuff, though. It's a lot to think about because things are, the only thing we know is that things are going to constantly change.
Right.
Fortunately, what I like is, a lot of these online businesses, these social media sites, they've started to really mature now. Like if you notice, for a while, YouTube kept changing everything, like the look, the feel, the buttons, that everything would change. And now it's been a couple of years, and they make little tweaks here and there. They add little features, but it's basically gotten to that stasis where this is where it's going to be, and Facebook seems to have gotten there now too, which is nice. But some of these features they're going to add, hopefully, are always going to be value added to that. And I think a lot of the ad stuff they're doing right now definitely has a value add, as opposed to, some kind of penalty. Now, the feature of banning garage door companies, well, that's another story for another day. But
right. But I will tell you, Ray will do anything for a buck when it comes to internet marketing. Yeah. Just give me the money.
I need it. I need the bucks.
Except probably websites. I mean,
we gladly do web. I mean, I don't physically do them. I just hand them off to.
Well, I shouldn't have put it that way. I'm the same way. You know what? I'll do anything for a buck primarily, and I think this is going to be you as well. Primarily for me, it's Google Business Profiles and YouTube. But if somebody comes to me and says, "Will you take over my website, or will you build a website for me?" Yeah, I mean, I've got a guy that does
it done. We know how to get it done. We're just, I'm not going to sit there and, I don't even. I was going to try to sound smart, and I don't even know what software people use nowadays. I mean, I know you use WordPress, but I'm not going to sit there and mess with WordPress and HTML codes and all that kind of stuff. It's just
and so much of it is plug-in based now. So we've migrated
we use Divi for like everything we do now. But
yeah, I mean, I've got a couple of attorneys where their SEO company was just screwing them over and wouldn't even give them access to their WordPress site. So we just took the website as it was, and there's a software called, I think it's Eliminator or something like that, that'll just import it all in, then you massage it. And that's pretty amazing. I don't know how it works, but my guy does, and he does a great job. We just, we just stood up one, you know what I'm talking about, where we needed one for a different brand. I couldn't get him to kind of pull the trigger on that, so we just did it. And it took us.
That's how we make money. We just do stuff.
We do, yeah. And I'll see if I can get him to reimburse us. You take care of the Google ads. I'll take care of the website. How's that? We'll just divvy it up that way. But and I talked to my guy who's. By the way, I've had really good luck in Pakistan with IT guys and website builders and everything. He did it for $500, and he did a great job. And he's a nice guy. And when you talk to him, you have to stop and think: are they not in the United States? Because their English is so good, So I've been real happy with that. Just kind of a little tip if you're looking to start something up or whatever. Look to Upwork, and you're not going to have much of a choice as to people you work with because they're all Pakistan, I guess. And I've just had
Pakistan,
great luck.
India, Philippines.
Yeah, but
Indonesia.
Boy, Upwork seems like it's Pakistan. Anyhow, whatever.
It's become that, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. And it's worked well for me. So, all righty, my friend. There you go.
Yes,
there you
so,
go.
Steve, now that we've gone through all this,
I need money. I need some money.
You need some money for your business?
Yeah, I had to spend all that money at the end of the calendar year, so I didn't give it to the government. Now I'm just a little short in cash. I had to have you wait for 3 weeks to get your money.
Oh, man. Well, believe it or not, many small businesses actually struggle with a lot of this stuff, even like payroll. Now, I got a payroll story I could tell you today. Oh, my goodness. Now, we weren't struggling for the money for payroll. We were struggling to get the money in the right place for the payroll. Long story there. Thank you, all the banks and payroll companies. But, many businesses struggle even to just pay payroll. And sometimes you need that extra cash to be able to do that. Well, our good friends at Market Capital Lending can help you to be able to get the funding you need, sometimes in as fast as just a couple of days and with great rates. And they're very creative. So if you've got certain situations, like maybe you've got really good cash flow in your business, but maybe your personal credit isn't very good, or maybe your business credit isn't very good, or, maybe you've got, maybe you're going to try to buy and flip a house and try to do real estate investing, but you don't have the money to get all of that done. We can help you get the money that you need for your business, no matter what it is you're trying to do. In fact, the great thing is, fill out the app. It costs nothing to fill out the application and find out what we can do for you. We are very, very creative with this stuff, and we can get you the capital that you need for your business, even if you've got strange situations. Believe me, many people do. I've heard of, I've brought a couple of people over there recently, and we've seen some pretty strange situations that they have with their finances, and they're still able to get qualified for what they need in just different ways. Some people need a line of credit. Some people need hard money. Some people need bridge loans, all sorts of different things to get them through certain situations with their business. And at Market Capital Lending, you can get that done. So be sure to head on over to marcaplending.com and check it out by filling out the application today so that we can get back to you and find out what you need and help you get funded.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all their
lots of different things in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at their website. Yeah, cool.
You're doing a fix and flip, they got you covered. If you need, if you need the money to buy the fix and flip or to fix the fix and flip, 100% even, call them or get on there and fill out the application. Guaranteed they'll get back to you. Sometimes you may get funded when you didn't think you were going to. And there are people that were, well, I don't know if I can do it because try it. If you don't do anything, you're going to get nothing. So you might as well give it a try. And most times we can come up with a solution that's going to help you get funded for what you need with your business. Small business loans, the SBA stuff, all of that stuff can be done at marcaplending.com. And, let's get some industry going. I like it.
All right. Very good. Okay, well, I guess that's about it. We've got a show in the bag. Let's hit the music.
All right, here we go. Steve wants to be half in the bag, but the show's in the bag. So let's get the music.
Not anymore. Okay, so for you, those of you watching the YouTube, we're going to end that right now. Thanks for tuning in. And no,